Hello and welcome to Frames TM. So before we start, let me just tell you that if you are new to the channel, please to subscribe and click on the bell icon so that you keep getting notifications.
Yes.
And if you have already been to this channel before, and if you have already been to this channel before but have not yet subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. It really does help us a lot.
Yeah.
So today we are going to talk about something very interesting. So would you like to start?
Yeah. Today we're going to talk about the camera that we think saved Nikon.
Yes.
And you have to look into the camera. Okay. Just don't look at the.
No, I'm not looking
Yeah.
there.
Look into the camera.
Yes.
Today we're going to talk because there was a comment last time that you keep looking at that Ninja 5. Look at the.
Okay.
So today we're going to talk about the camera that we think saved Nikon. I don't know if you could already guess what that camera is, at least in my mind. In our minds, share what your guesses are. Write it right now. It's definitely a way to kind of get you to write some comments so that the content gets some boost. But also, I'm genuinely interested to know if you think that there's a few products that actually helps Nikon get to this happy space right now. What do you think those are? For me, there's one specific, very important camera. So and before we reveal that camera again, I must, for the last 2.5-3 years, we have traveled a lot, shot a lot, done a lot. I mean, I have many of my content pieces actually made on that camera. And although it's not a perfect camera, I thought it's such a well-rounded, just right kind of a camera that it worked for most people. And so if you have already written down what your guesses are, do you think I should reveal?
I think it's time to reveal it.
Yeah, but let me give you the context. The camera came at a time when where Canon had already launched the R5, the R6. Sony was going strong, the A7S III. And Fuji was again doing very well. They had, I think, already had the XT4. XT3 was already doing quite well, getting lots of firmware updates, and the XT4 came up. And I'll tell you, a lot of people today who are like nice to Nikon, a lot of them who are like, yeah, I am a well-wisher of Nikon. They did not stop themselves from sort of adding to the rumor mill and saying, oh, Nikon is going down, they're going to shut down, they're going to be sold, they're going to sell themselves to Apple or to Panasonic or to Sony. Wild ideas, right? And they did that. So that was the context. And in that context, that was the context when this camera came up. Nikon needed something to buy time. I'll tell you what, they did two things, Of course, you know what camera I'm talking about. But there is this other thing. They launched the lens roadmap. And then they launched this fantastic affordable primes. Oh my God, they're fantastic primes. You know how good those 50mm, 85, 35, the macro lens, even the 24mm lens, the 20mm lens, those are such good lenses. The f4 zooms, I haven't I don't like wide angle, but look at the 24-70 f4. For a lot of people, that's all you need. Okay. So all in all, whatever Nikon pushed was in lens-wise, whatever Nikon pushed to the market was so exciting. People wanted a body that would just help them to get access to those lenses. That is the reason they said yes to the Nikon Z6II. And the Nikon Z6II is that camera. And I'll tell you one very interesting thing about the Nikon Z6II. At that point, what was Nikon Z6II basically is finishing off of the job that they started with the Z6. Honestly, that I think what it is. They added the 2 card slots, right? They added the they added the 2 card slots. They have a slightly faster autofocus, especially the autofocus mechanism, the layout of the autofocus was better, okay? And I also felt that the color quality was better. I also felt that low light autofocusing was definitely better over the Z6 over the Z6. Overall, the Z6II was a nice little touch-ups here and there on the Z6. Slightly better color science even. And you had this camera. And a lot of people, for them, this is their favorite camera. I know you actually did struggle with using the autofocus because it's complicated.
I mean, in low light.
in low light, but also I think you found it complicated to change from eye
Yeah.
autofocus to this
but,
mode
but
to
the more struggle was during evening when we used to take it for shoot,
yeah, definitely.
especially in the low light.
Definitely, I also had some trouble, in different situations to shoot it in studio scenario. I must tell you that when I recently shot the Nikon ZF, it had no problem at all in studio setup where I was stopping down to 5.6 and just it's difficult to sort of focus in a very low light condition. The ZF did a fantastic job. The Z6II often struggled, so you have to be careful about what lens you use and all that. But it was a promise of the two processors, They said that it has two XP6 processors, and a lot of people said, okay, it's got now two processors. Yes, the autofocus is swifter, faster, quicker. But a lot of people thought that we are going to keep getting a lot of firmware updates. And that never happened. That's my one.
True. I think the ones who are currently having the Z6II, they must be eagerly waiting for an update in case if they're not planning to upgrade to a new one. I'm sure they will be eagerly waiting for an update. In fact, we are also waiting for an
We're
update.
still waiting for an update.
Yeah.
But I'm now thinking of the ZF. Honestly, really. I mean, in which case I'll sell off the Z6II.
Yeah.
But for a lot of people, this body design is what they want. So they will probably not go for the ZF. They will say, I want this kind of grip. I want this kind of, they just want this implementation. They want this sort of dials and all that. So they're probably going to wait for the Z6III, and till that time they're going to keep using the Z6II. So if you're one of them, this is an amazing camera. The file quality is fantastic. Honestly, you've seen like all our trips to Kashmir,
Of course.
to Jaipur, to Agra, to Taj Mahal, right? Those trips, like we made so many memories with this camera. I think this is close to my heart.
It is also very close to my heart.
Yeah, is it?
It is.
I have taken some of your best portraits with this camera, by the way.
Yeah,
So
after having a Z6 and then getting a Z6II, I think that was a big
the difference
jump
was
for
clear.
us. Yep.
At that point, the difference was quite clear. At this point, maybe after Z6 firmware updates, maybe they're like almost similar. And that's where the disappointment is, that after like 2 more years of firmware update, the Z6 today is almost as good as the Z6II in autofocus. So by logic, this should be better, right? But it bought Nikon time. Yes. It bought Nikon time, right? They could use that time to actually invest in the XP7 processor and making the Z9, making the Z8. Of course, people wanted to get those lenses, and the only way to get to those lenses was to use a Z body, and the best Z body they could use was the Z6II. Of course, there's a Z7II as well, but then the Z6II has better video quality than compared to the Z7II, But that's a more high megapixel camera, actually slightly better sensor, and also a great sensor for landscape and architecture and all that when you need a lot of resolution. Overall, for wedding photographers, for event photographers, for travelers, for casual shooters, portrait photographers, this is the one. The Z6II competed very, very well with the A7 III. I don't think the A7 III was or is better significantly. I think they're neck to neck in autofocus. But in color science and everything else, build quality, this is miles ahead. So very well-rounded camera. Just, I think, a few steps behind what the expectations were when Canon launched the R5 and R6. And today it feels a little dated, especially after using the Z8 and the ZF. Yes. But it's still such a wonderful camera. This is the camera that saved Nikon. So you want to say something to conclude this conversation today? Sorry, I've been forcing you to come on the show, but this is interesting. I know you have a meeting right now. You have to run.
Yeah, I have a meeting, so I have to rush. But
last words on this.
Yeah, last words would be that I hope you like this conversation.
Do you want me to sell it or get a ZF?
Okay, so the last words would be, if you do have a Z6II, definitely keep it if you're not planning to upgrade to a new one.
This is good enough.
It's really good. And I hope you like this discussion today. So we will be back soon with some more interesting videos. For that, please do stay tuned. Do subscribe. Do click on the bell icon.
Tell them about our review on the ZF.
Oh, yes. we would soon be
I
publishing
think couple of days.
our review on the ZF. We had a really nice experience.
Your first thoughts?
We will be
Quickly.
sharing that with you. I don't want to reveal anything right now. Nothing I want to reveal right now. I can just share that we had a really good experience. So I just have got 1 more minute left to join another meeting.
Go. Okay.
So,
okay.
So don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell icon if you have not done that.
Yeah.
See you soon.
Yeah.
Until then,
I'm going to see you soon with another video.
Okay. Bye bye.